In this short video, we'll be discussing noun clauses. So what is a noun clause? A noun clause is a dependent clause. So in other words, it's a clause that cannot stand alone. It needs to be attached to an independent clause. Noun clauses take the place of a noun in a sentence. So basically, we can put a noun clause anywhere where we would find a noun. So a subject, object, or as object of a preposition. The most common type of noun clause is a noun clause that's in object position. There's three types of noun clauses. We have that or statement type, WH word type, and if or whether type. The first type of noun clause we're going to talk about is noun clauses with that. So noun clauses with that follow verbs that show thinking and mental activity. They can also follow verbs of reported speech. And here's some examples of the types of verbs that are often followed by noun clauses. So let's look at some examples. This first example, we have the sentence, the student believes that the professor was telling the truth. So we have the student is a subject, and then we have this verb believes. And believes is one of the verbs that show thinking or mental activity. And then we follow believes with this noun clause. This noun clause is in the object position of the sentence. So we have subject, verb, and then object. And the noun clause is that the professor was telling the truth. So notice that in this noun clause, we started with that. We have the subject professor, and then we have the verb was telling. Here's another example. The professor stated that late homework is not allowed. So again, we start with the independent clause, the professor stated, and we have the noun clause in the object position, that late homework is not allowed. Let's look at a couple more examples. Notice that in all of these sentences, we have an independent clause. For example, many students believe. And then in the object, we put in a noun clause. So this whole thing right here is the object noun clause. Certain nouns can also be followed by noun clauses. These are two nouns that are commonly followed by noun clauses, fact and theory. So for example, it's a fact that exercising every day is good for the heart. We have the independent clause, it is a fact, and then we follow fact with a noun clause, that exercising every day is good for the heart. So again, notice that for this noun clause, we start with that, then we have our subject, exercising, and then we have our verb, is. Here are a few more examples. We can also have adjectives that are followed with noun clauses. Here's some of the adjectives that are followed by noun clauses. Well-known, clear, true, and important. Here's some example sentences. We have, it is well known that learning a new language has many benefits. So again, we have the subject, we have the verb, and then we have the adjective, well known. And then we follow the adjective with a noun clause, that learning a new language has many benefits. It is clear that students need to study more. We have a subject, it, verb, is, clear is the adjective, and we have a noun clause that the students need to study more. And lastly, it's important that people learn to cooperate. We have it is important, and then the noun clause, that people learn to cooperate. And again, you start the noun clause with that. You have a subject, people, and then verb, learn.